What is up guys, it's your boy Swell here, back with another World of Warcraft Dragonflight Goldmaking video. So today we're doing a full in-depth guide on skinning. We are looking at skinning on the Dragonflight Beta, talking about what you can do to get yourself better at skinning. We're taking an in-depth look at the specialization system and how you basically get better with skinning over time as you skill up and get further into the specialization tree. It is basically a huge walkthrough of skinning in Dragonflight as it looks right now on the beta, and I'm recording this on the 2nd of November, so the amount of changes they're going to make to skinning specifically, I do think it's going to be minimal before release, so the video right here should be the best one, or should at least contain the relevant information for the profession going into Dragonflight. So for the purpose of this video, I'm showing you skinning with one skill, then I'm skilling it up to 100 skill, and then we're applying all of the specialization points and showing you what that looks like as well. So if I open up my professions tab right here right now, you can see I have one skill in skinning. If we open up the skinning journal, you can see our leather skinning is very low. The primary reagent difficulty is 90, skill is 1, finesse is 0%, deafness is 0%, and perception is also 0%. Now every single time we skin something, we will be getting a skill up all the time, and we can also still get all of the good stuff, but we're getting tier 1 leather. Now if I just use this item right here, which is only on the beta by the way, on the real game you have to actually skill up the profession manually, which goes super fast by using some of the actual locations listed in my Dragonflight Gold Guide, where we have about 10 different skinning locations, some of which are absolutely insane for day 1 of Dragonflight. So if you're looking to make a lot of gold in Dragonflight, consider checking out that gold guide to the link down below. It is a 155 pages document for gold making in Dragonflight, containing over 40 gold farms specific to Dragonflight, some of which you really want to know about for day 1, because they have insane potential in day 1. Okay, so now we have 100 skill in Dragon Isle skinning. You can see that right now our skill is 100, primary reagent difficulty is still 90, everything is still 0, so finesse is 0%, deafness is 0%, and perception is also 0%. Same thing goes for everything else. We can see for example dense hide, the primary reagent difficulty is 130 and we have 100 skill. So nothing is really changing by skilling up, but you are getting higher tier materials. So the higher skill you are, the more tier you will get, and as you get to 100 skill you will start getting both tier 2 and tier 3 materials. Tier 2 you will start to get super early, and tier 3 at around 90 to 100 skill. So not a lot of LS is changing, so let's take a look at the specialization system right here, and let me just apply some knowledge as well, the Dragon Isle skinning knowledge, so we can see how that changes the profession itself. Okay, so logging into my max level skinning character with all of the knowledge applied, you can see Dragon Isle skinning knowledge right here. You can use knowledge to learn skinning specialization. Knowledge can be gained through various means such as studying discoveries that are found while skinning and completing quests offered by your trainer in Valdrakken. So basically you can do quests offered to you by the trainer, but you can also just simply farm skinning in the open world, and sometimes you will get a rare material giving you 1 skinning knowledge. From my testing so far on the beta, if you're doing like a full hour of farming, you can expect anywhere between 2 and 6, so basically let's just say 4 to 5 every single hour. So you can get this, you can basically farm for this as well, and there's several reasons why you want as much knowledge as possible as early as possible. So what I'll tell you right now is that I've maxed out everything so far, and that cost me 400 knowledge in total. Maxing out every single tree will cost you 40 talent points. So you can see, for example, maxing out tanning will cost you 120, maxing out harvesting will be 160 for you, and maxing out bait crafter is another 120. Maxing out all of them is 400, and once you've maxed out all of them, you will see the journal itself is looking a lot bigger than it was before, and you can see that right now our skill is 200 instead of 100, so we have 100 plus 100, and we also have 20% finesse, we have 60% deafness, and we have 23% perception. By me telling you this, that might not tell you too much, but finesse basically means you have a chance to gather more of the primary reagent that you find while skinning, while deafness increases your gathering speed, and perception increases your ability to spot rare reagents while gathering. So basically, like the rare materials, you will get more of those, while with finesse you will just get more materials overall. So these are new kind of stats coming with Dragonflight, and you can actually enhance your gear through enchantments and profession items items to give yourself finesse, deftness, and perception as well, and you get them through that actual specialization tree. Now we can also see that, for example, we can refine hides, so we can refine 5 quality 1 rare hides and the scales gathered from the creatures of the Dragon Isles to 1 quality 2, so we can basically turn 5 quality 1s into 1 quality 2, and we can do the same from 5 quality 2 to 1 quality 3 as well, and the same thing goes for hides, leather, and scales. We also have the bait recipes. We can craft the bottled pheromones, which opens a bottle of pheromones, drawing all unoccupied skinnable beasts and dragonkin within 60 yards to you. This could be absolutely insane for farming, especially in the open world, or well, open world, but also in groups. So you can do this one in groups, you can do it solo. This one requires you to craft 5, you have to combine 5 maybe meat and 2 assorted exotic spice. This one you can buy, you can actually get from Herbalist, and can be bought and sold on the auction house, while this one you will get a lot of while you're farming for skinning materials anyway. You will find tons of these, so don't even worry. And by having those, you can craft this bottle, which makes farming so much easier for you, especially if you want to AoE farm either way. You also have the elusive creature bait. So this one plays the bait, luring an elusive creature after a small amount of time, and who knows what might show up. The cooldown of elusive bait is lowered by skinning creatures in the Dragon Isles. So basically this is a cooldown allowing you to actually trap a mob. You can basically look at this, like for example in Warlords of Draenor, we had the caging system. This is something like that, but also a little bit different. And you can lower the cooldown by farming skinning. So every now and then you can use the bait to get some more gold, and then you can just lower the cooldown by farming skinning as well. This one also requires maybe meat, which you will find a lot of through actually skinning. You also have some different infusions that you can use, so place the bait, luring an elusive creature after a small amount of time again. This one is just a bait that you can actually infuse this one to target specific types of mobs as well in the open world, which is actually pretty cool. And then you can also craft some fishing lures as well, so you have different lures to attract different types of fish throughout the Dragonflight or the Dragon Isles. So if there's one specific type of fish you want to fish for, well, leatherworkers, not leatherworkers, but skinners can craft that lure for you. And if you have skinning and fishing, well, now you can actually decide which fish you want to get. So let's just look at this one, for example, here, the Aelarian Seamoth lure. This one increases the chance to catch this one, the specific one type of fish, for 30 minutes. So this one requires a 10 bite-sized morsels, which you will get through a different specialization that we'll take a look at right now. So now we have taken a look at all of the crafting stuff. Let's take a look at the specializations, which is the main part of the video. Okay, so let's start with Bait Crafter. So here, the first talent you will get is studying the techniques to gather more materials from each creature, gaining 1 finesse while skinning per point in the specialization. So this is when you start getting finesse, you start getting perception, you start getting actual skill ups as well. So basically for every single point you spend here, you will gain +1 finesse. So me having 40 points right here gives me +40 finesse, and also throughout giving yourself these types of points, you will also get a lot other stuff. So as you learn the talent right here, you will learn to craft elusive creature bait. You can place them outdoors in the Dragon Isles to lure elusive creatures, and then for every 5 points you spend, you will get additional stuff. So here we get +5 deftness. Here we can learn a sub-specialization, which is these two that we'll take a look at in a second. You get +10 finesse, and then right here you learn to craft the bottled pheromones. The bottled pheromones lure all nearby creatures, skinnable beasts, and dragonkins to you. This is the one we just looked at, by the way. So the more points you spend into this specialization right here and the talent point, the more stuff you unlock. Upon having max, the amount of cooldown refunded for your elusive creature bait through skinning is doubled when skinning elite and rare creatures. And this is important because, for example, in my Dragonflight Gold Guide, there's a couple of gold farms where you can solo elite beasts, so having double cooldown reduction on those is actually absolutely huge. Now, after you get some points here, like for example right here, you will get to learn a sub-specialization. So let's take a look at one of those. Elemental infusion right here. So upon learning this one, you learn a different infusion for frost, you learn one for earth, you learn one for decay, you get some perception for the while skinning, and here as well, the amount of cooldown refunded for your elusive creature bait through skinning is increased by a small amount. So you get some small bonuses every now and then, right here as well, same bonus, +10 perception. Here again, cooldown reduction once again, so this is going to apply a huge cooldown reduction when you combine both of these types of specializations. And right here, you get to learn to craft a infusion for the Titan infusion. This one is absolutely massive. So here, I didn't talk about what you get for this one, but this one attunes you with the elements and improves your senses, giving you +1 perception while skinning for every single point you have in this talent. So 1 Dragon Isle skinning knowledge gives you 1 talent here. You can spend 40 of them and you get 1 perception for every single one. Now the other specialization is this one, improving your coordination, giving you +1 deftness while skinning in this one. And also once again the cooldown is reduced by a moderate amount, so a bigger reduction this time around. Here as well, once again reduced again, +10 perception, cooldown reduced. Over here your elusive creature bait can sometimes draw elite creatures that may yield better skinning rewards. This one is absolutely huge, so all of these talents kind of play into each other. Then you get a cooldown reduction once again, +10 finesse, cooldown reduction, and for the big one, your skill at using bait has reached its peak. Your elusive creature bait can now draw in rare creatures at specific locations who can be skinned for a chance at the best rewards. So not only can you actually use the bait on elites, you can now use the bait on rares as well, giving you even more and even better rewards. Okay, so that's the bait crafter, fully in demand, right? Full in-depth right there, talking about everything about the bait crafter. This one is massive, and the reason why I'm going through this is that, like I just said, to get all of them, you have to have 400 Dragon Isles skinning knowledge. Now for skinning specifically, this is actually farmable, but for crafting professions, you have to be a lot more specific, and even for skinning as well, which route you take will play a massive impact on your gameplay. So by having the bait crafter from the beginning, you will probably start going out and hunting for elites and rares and using your bait to get your skinning materials, while for example through harvesting you will focus a lot more on simply just farming. So let's talk about harvesting, the next one right here. So for harvesting, this one will improve your efficiency and giving you +1 deftness while skinning per point in the specialization. Let's try to go through this one a little bit more quickly. So here we go. Your knowledge of anatomy gives you an upper hand, increasing your damage against beasts and dragonkin while outside in the Dragon Isles. You also get +5 deftness, you learn a subspec, +10 finesse, and right here, once again damage increase, once again sub-specialization, 10 perception, learn the final sub-specialization, and right here you have a chance to, while skinning, to find curiously shaped stomachs. Who knows what might be inside? This is probably going to be like a throwback to volatiles in Cataclysm, where you could for example skin for a strange bloated stomach, giving you volatiles. So in this case I'm guessing you get curiously shaped stomachs, and you get the awakened or roused eternals that are coming in Dragonflight. So you're getting roused elements or rousing elements and awakened elements. At least that is my guess. So upon choosing a subspecialization, which you will get pretty early right here, you can go into Trophy Collector, Meat Carver, or Lure Crafter. Let's take a look at Trophy Collector first, so here we go. So for gold making, this one has absolutely huge potential. So for the first point you put into this one, okay, first of all, you will get 1 perception while skinning per point in the specialization, up to +40 perception by having the entire tree. Now the first point you spend, you will gain an increased chance to gather species-specific reagents from the creatures of the Dragon Isles. Once again, in my Dragonflight Gold Guide, we have several locations where you can get species-specific reagents that are actually rare or uncommon. You also get +5 deftness, +10 finesse, +5 deftness once again, +15 perception, +5 deftness, +10 finesse, +10 deftness, and all the way down here, a master of finding rare materials to get +50 perception while skinning. So basically this one right here is all focused on getting rare materials, so you have an increased chance to get them. You also have deftness and perception and finesse all throughout the entire tree. This one is massive, but I would argue the first point is the huge one here to get. This one could be good to go for, just to rush to get the first point. Either way, let's take a look at the Meat Carver for example. This one right here, improve your ability to harvest meat from certain creatures of the Dragon Isles, gaining a slightly increased chance to find the meat while skinning per point in the specialization. This is where all of your, what is it called, the meat, the type of meats from Dragon Isles will be coming from. If you're skinning, you will get more meat while skinning, plus you will get meat while looting. So basically you get a lot of meat, which is really good because you're using them in your lure crafting. So here we go, you have a chance to gather meat while skinning certain creatures. You also get plus 10 finesse, you have a small increased chance to get meat, plus 5 deftness right here. Your knowledge grows and you learn a new technique while sometimes you yield additional meat while skinning, so even more meat once again, plus 10 finesse, even more meat while right here, plus 10 deftness, and the last one, you have honed your abilities and your carving mastery, increases the chance of yielding additional meat while skinning at certain creatures, so basically a lot more meat. So the more points you have, the more meat you will get. It's absolutely insane, and by the time you have the last one, you will just be swimming in meat. Okay, last one then, lure crafting right here. Hone your skills at gathering usable morsels in the Dragon Isles, gaining a slightly increased chance to find morsels while skinning per point in the specialization. You have a chance to gather bite-sized morsels while skinning. Also, you learn to craft a scale belly mackerel lure. This one also gives you plus 5 deftness. You get all of the fishing lures basically. All these big trees are the big fishing lures. So here we go, fishing lure, 10 finesse, also a fishing lure, plus increased chance to get the bite-sized morsels, plus 10 perception, also cerulean spinefish lure, plus 10 deftness, and the Aelarian seamet lure, and all the way down here gain the ability to gather exceptional morsels while skinning. This one could be massive, just going all the way down there. That is the only way to get the exceptional morsels. So once again, it basically gives you a barrier to entry, a pretty big barrier to entry as well. So the earlier you get this one, the more profit you'll probably make from those exceptional morsels. Okay, last one for today is tanning. This is a huge video for skinning, but hopefully you're enjoying it, and hopefully if you don't have access to the beta, then hopefully I'm able to provide you with some additional LoL knowledge, and I do think skinning is a huge profession for gold farming. So here we go, let's take a look at tanning. Okay, so first off, I just clicked on the wrong button. Let me just go back. Professions, skinning journal, specialization. Here we go. Tanning. So first off, for the first point you spend, you will have a small increased chance to gather hides while skinning creatures in the Dragon Isles. This one is massive because those hides could be worth a lot of gold. Basically look at them as the hides from Shadowlands, which was worth a lot as well. And this one could be the same way. We don't really know. We don't really have the same legendary system, so maybe not the same demand, but it's a rare hide either way. So tanning, improve your general skinning techniques, gaining plus 1 skill while skinning. This one basically by having 40 points here, you will get plus 40 skinning. Also right here, plus 5 deftness, learn a sub-spec, or all the way down here, plus 10 finesse, learn how to improve lower quality hides, refining them from tier 1 to tier 2. We just looked at that at the beginning of the video, learn the final sub-spec, plus 10 perception, plus 5 deftness, and learn how to further improve hides, refining them from tier 2 to tier 3. This is basically the refinement part, so scale mastery right here. You will also, once again, gain plus 1 skill while skinning, primarily scale yielding creatures per point in the specialization. We'll also learn how to improve lower quality scales from tier 1 to tier 3, plus 15 finesse while skinning primarily scale yielding creatures. There's a lot of them on the Dragon Isles, by the way, so this one could be massive as well. Plus 5 skill while skinning primarily scale yielding creatures, plus 15 perception, learn how to improve from tier 2 to tier 3, plus 15 deftness, plus 5 skill, plus 15 finesse, and at the last one right here, plus 10 skill. So basically you start getting a lot more skill super fast by having these specializations, and the more skill you have, the higher tier stuff you will get. Lastly here, leather mastery. Shore up your skills in skinning leather, gaining plus 1 skill while skinning primarily leather yielding creatures per point in a specialization, so the same as this one, but focus on leather instead of scales. So here, once again, refining from tier 1 to tier 2, plus 15 finesse, plus 5 skill, plus 15 perception, refining from tier 2 to tier 3, plus 15 deftness, plus 5 skill, and plus 15 finesse. At the last one, plus 10 skill. So basically this is where you learn to refine, and you get a lot more skill as well. So once you have all of this, once again, this is what it looks like, so you can refine from tier 2 to tier 3. For both hides, leather, and scale, you can make bottled pheromones. This is going to be the big one if you ask me, the bottled pheromones, where you can basically use an item to pull a lot of mobs around you, which I do think is going to be massive. I don't know if this is one is if this one is actually used or consumed when you use it, it has a 30-minute cooldown, so I do think this one will be even bigger when farming in groups and solo, but it's still definitely very good solo as well. A 30-minute cooldown though, pretty big on that one, and it's a bound when picked up item. It's for skinners only pretty much, which also makes sense, but yeah, also you can see all of these ones right here, both the elusive creature bait, also once again bound on pickup. This one requires maybe meat, this one requires maybe meat, these ones right here require the bait, which once again requires the maybe meat, and crafting the lure skill requires bite-sized morsels, and bite-sized morsels and the meat you will get lots of while having the specializations. So that is it, that is a full in-depth guide on skinning. I didn't want to talk about where to farm for skinning because it's pretty obvious. You just go out and hunt for beasts and you kill them and you skin them. If you want to have access to all of my skinning gold farms before Dragonflight comes out, then check out my Dragonflight gold guide through the link down below. We have so many skinning gold farms. I'm huge into skinning myself, so I'm trying to find the best ones and give them to you before the expansion comes out. Either way, let me know what you think about this video format. It's a long video, but hopefully it was helpful and informative to some of you. If you made it till the end, make sure to let me know in the comment section down below. I would be shocked. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Leave a like, leave a sub. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.